All right, guys, today what we're going to talk about is la hora, or how to tell time. Okay? So please fill out your notes while I'm going through this presentation. This is going to be a little bit longer because we have lots of practice activities in here. Okay? So a little review of the numbers. So remember, 1 is uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. All right, we're good on those 1 through 10. 11 is once, 12 is doce, 13, trece, 14, catorce, 15 is quince, 16 is dieciséis, 17 is diecisiete, 18, dieciocho, 19, diecinueve, 20 is veinte, 21, veintiuno, 22, veintidós, 23 is veintitrés, 24, veinticuatro, 25 is veinticinco, 26 is veintiséis, 27, veintisiete, 28 is veintiocho, 29, veintinueve, and 30 is treinta. So when we're talking about time, if you want to ask the question, what time is it? You will say, ¿qué hora es? Okay? In order to say what time it is, you're going to say son las or es la. Okay, so here's an example. Son las 9 de la noche. It's 9 o'clock at night. Okay? In order to ask at what time something is, you're going to say a qué hora. Okay? And then a qué hora es la clase de español is at what time is the Spanish class. Okay? So this question has the feeling of at what time something takes place. Okay? So we have a las and a la to express that time. So an example of that would be la fiesta es a las siete. So the party is at 7. Okay? All right, so ¿qué hora es? We have different clocks here for different times of the day. So we're going to start with the one on the left. Okay? Es la una. So it's 1 o'clock. Son las dos. It's 2 o'clock. Son las tres, it's 3 o'clock. Son las cuatro, it's 4 o'clock. Son las cinco, it's 5 o'clock. Son las seis, it's 6 o'clock. And son las siete, it's 7 o'clock. I don't know if you can see a pattern here, but the only one of these times that we'll use es la is 1 o'clock. Okay? Everything else you will use son. Moving on. 8 o'clock is son las ocho. 9 o'clock, son las nueve. 10 o'clock, son las diez. And 11 o'clock is son las once. Alright, if we're talking about midnight or noon, there are special words to say that. So, if we're talking about midnight, we will say es la media noche. Or if we're talking about noon, it would be es el mediodía. Okay? You can also say son las doce for either one of those as well. So the first picture, if we want to say it's 6 o'clock in the morning, you will say son las seis de la mañana. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is son las tres de la tarde. And 9 o'clock p.m. is son las 9 de la noche. Alright, so, ¿qué hora es? Son las 4 de la mañana. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 9 de la noche. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 11 de la mañana. ¿Qué hora es? Es la 1 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 10 de la noche. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 4 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 6 de la mañana. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 10 de la mañana. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 5 de la mañana. ¿Qué hora es? Es la medianoche. ¿Qué hora es? Es el mediodía. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 3 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Es la 1 de la tarde. All right, now we're going to talk about how to say minutes on the clock, okay? So we already know how to talk about an hour, like if it's an exact hour, but say if you wanted to say it's 1:30 or 2:15 or whatever, we're going to learn how to say that right now, okay? So when telling time from the 1 minute mark to the 30-minute mark, you are going to use the word E in order to combine the hour and the minute. When telling time from 31 minute and the 59 minute, you're going to use the word menos. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is add the minute to the hour on the right-hand side of the clock. On the left-hand side of the clock, you are going to round up to the next hour and then subtract the time using the word menos. We're going to practice, okay, so if you don't understand exactly what I'm saying right now, you will. All right, so when telling time from 1 minute to 30 minutes, like I said, you're going to use the word E, which means and, okay? So, for example, this time would be son las 4:05. This time would be son las 4:10. This time would be son las 4:18. So it's 4:18. This time would be son las 4:20. Okay? There are some special cases or casos especiales. If we're saying 15, okay, what you're going to say is y cuarto. So like quarter past. Okay, so for example, this time would be son las 8:15. If we're talking about 30, it would be y media. You can also say y 30, just like you can say y 15 for the one on the left-hand side as well, for 15. But sometimes they'll say half past. Okay, so this is the way to say half past for 30. Y media. Okay, so this time would be son las 8:30. Okay? So, clase, ¿qué hora es? Son las 2:02 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 4:12 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 9:10 de la mañana. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 3:20. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 10:08 de la noche. ¿Qué hora es? Es la 1:11 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 12:09 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 4:23. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 7:29. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 2:15 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 11:30. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 5:15 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 8 de la noche. All right, now we're going to talk about the other side of the clock, that left-hand side. Okay, when telling time from minutes 31 to 59, you're going to use the word menos. All right, this is what it looks like. Again, like I said before, you were going to round up to the next hour and then subtract the minutes that you rounded up to. Okay, so we're gonna see what that looks like, right? So this time would be son las 10 menos 5. This is actually 9:55, but we rounded up 5 minutes to get to 10, and then we're going to subtract those 5 minutes in order to say it's 9:55. Okay? All right. This is kind of what we do in English too. If we say 5 till 10, it's exactly the same thing. Okay? This is how they tell time though on this side of the clock. Let's take a look at this time. This is son las 10 menos 10. This time we're talking about the time at 9:50. So we have to round up to 10 by 10 minutes. So we're going to say it's 10 o'clock minus 10. So son las 10 menos 10. All right, next one we have is son las 10 menos 20. So it's 10 o'clock minus 20, or 2 till before 20. Okay, so what happens is we take this time, which is 9:40, round up to 10, okay, and then subtract 20. So this is kind of like a little math problem here. So we're going to say son las 10 menos 20. It's 10 minus 20, or 20 till 10. Okay. All right. We have one special case on this side of the clock, and that is this 45 situation. So if you wanted to say 45, you would say menos cuarto. Or you can say menos 15, but it's more typical to hear menos cuarto, okay? So this time would be son las 11 menos cuarto. All right, so ¿qué hora es? Son las 9 menos 10 de la noche. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 4 menos 5 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 3 menos 1 de... ¿Qué hora es? Son las 5 menos 20 de la... ¿Qué hora es? Son las 11 menos 25 de la noche. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 9 menos 11 de la noche. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 2 menos 8 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 6 menos 27 de la tarde. ¿Qué hora es? Son las 12 menos 12 de... All right, more practice. So remember, when we're just doing one time, we only have to include son las and then the time. So son las 2 de la mañana is 2 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock p.m. is son las 8 de la noche. 4:05 is son las 4:05 de la mañana. If we're on the right-hand side of the clock, okay, any time before, or 30 or before, we're going to say y, okay? 5:20 is son las 5:20 de la tarde. 3:12 is son las 3:12 de la mañana. 8:15 is son las 8:15 de la noche. 11:17 son las 11:17 de la mañana. 2:30 son las 2:30 de la tarde. 9:50 son las 10 menos 10 de la noche. We're rounding up on this one because it's on the left side of the clock. 10:35 son las 11 menos 25 de la mañana. 2:45 son las 3 menos cuarto de la tarde. 11:57 son las 12 menos 3 de la mañana. 12:40 es la 1 menos 20 de la tarde. And 8:31 son las 9 menos 29 de la mañana. All right, so like I said at the beginning of this presentation, to say at what time something takes place, you are going to use a la and a las to express that idea, okay? I hope we have an idea now of what a la will be and what a las would be, what would come after that, okay? So, let's do a little practice here, all right? La fiesta es a las 8 de la noche, okay? Party's at 8 o'clock p.m. El partido es a las 4:05 de la tarde. So the game is at 4:05 p.m. La clase es a las 8:25 de la mañana. So that's 8:25 a.m. El almuerzo es a las 11:30 de la mañana. So lunch is at 11:30 a.m. La película es a las 10 menos 25 de la noche. So the movie is at 9:35 p.m. Y la cita es a las 4 menos 10 de la tarde. So the appointment is at 3:50 p.m. Okay? So you can tell here that I have used a las for all of these times because none of these times are we don't have anything to do with 1 o'clock. So you're going to use a la una only. Okay? If it's at 1 o'clock, you're going to say a la una. But any other time, if it's 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., it will be a las. So, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de español? So, at what time do you have Spanish class? What you're going to do in order to answer this question, what you're going to do is first give me the verb and then the class with the subject. Okay, so yo tengo, I have, la clase de español, the class of Spanish. And this is how you have to form all of your classes, just like this. Okay, so what you're going to do is say la clase de, and then fill in the blank with the subject. Okay, so yo tengo la clase de español a las 11:20 de la mañana, at 11:20 in the morning. Okay,